It's Thursday, October 12th, 2023. This is the Free 3. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYFS video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we just try to get to the bag together and make some money. Didn't have a show yesterday as I was on the road traveling. I apologize about that. But we're back again today because it's Thursday Night Football. We got a matchup between the Chiefs and Broncos, another snooze fest. Well, hopefully it'll be a little bit better. So I got a best bet in that game. And we also got our NLDS series between the Phillies and the Braves. Only one baseball game on today. We do have one bet in that matchup as well. In our last show on Tuesday, we did go 1-1. We cashed in on our Jose Altuve and Carlos Carrera hit parlay. We did lose on Dean Kramer out since that guy got knocked up real early. 1-1 on the day. So you can see our year-to-date record right here. Not too shabby. Still under 500 in the month of October. We haven't been putting out a lot of picks as much this month as we've done in previous months, just because of kind of how the slate's been looking, because of the amount of limited games and postseason play, NFL, things of that nature. But trust me, there's a lot of action that's out there that I research later on in the day once I get more data and information. So make sure you guys are clicking the link in the bio. Subscribe to the channel as well. Love to see you guys subscribe to the channel because we're going to be dropping new videos every day for you guys. But make sure you guys are clicking that link in the bio to join our Telegram group, because that's where you guys will get more picks and plays as I do more research throughout the day. Let's dive into our first best bet of the day. So for my first best bet of the day, I'm going to that Chiefs and Broncos matchup, and I'm going with the player prop in this one, and I'm going to go with one that probably a lot of people aren't on. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll see more people put it out later on throughout the day. But I've got Isaiah Pacheco over 16.5 carries, plus 105 odds on DraftKings. I really like this pick today because Pacheco is a guy who's going to get a lot of volume in a matchup like today because, truthfully, the Chiefs should win this game pretty easily. Broncos have not showed us anything this year as that they're a good team. The Broncos are god-awful. Their defense is terrible. Their offense can't score any points. So because of that, and we have a pretty big spread, about 10.5, right? You expect the Chiefs to be winning this ball game pretty handily. So that means that there should be a lot of rushing attempts as well to go at Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball. But I think the throwing the ball happens early. The running happens a little bit later on in the game. And this is not a big ask for Pacheco, even though this is his highest line of the year. And that's the only thing that's kind of got me worried a little bit. He's averaging about 14 carries per game. So that's not too bad. Obviously, that's a little bit under what we want to see, but over the last several weeks we've been seeing his workload increase. That's what I've loved to see. He's the lead back for the Chiefs, so he's literally getting more than double or triple the carries than the next guy, which is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So because of that, I love to see that he is the main focal point for this Chiefs run game. And over the last few weeks, like I mentioned, his workload has increased. He had 16 attempts last week against the Vikings, and that was a matchup that was probably a little bit closer than most people were expecting. So 16 attempts in a game that was more air friendly. I love to see that. He had 20 attempts against the Jets in the week prior, so great to see them go over that total there. And then he had 15 attempts against Chicago, but Edwards-Helaire also had 15 attempts in that game, so they both rushed for about a combined 30 attempts. When I really look at this Broncos defense and this Broncos team as a whole, they kind of remind me a little bit more of the Jets and that Chicago team, and I think that they're going to see a very similar result in this matchup where the Chiefs are going to be able to score points early, get up on this offense, and then from there just be able to control the tempo and the pace of the game with their run game. And as long as if it's not a major blowout, there's no reason why Pacheco should not be in this mix here, grabbing handoffs. And Edwards-Helaire, yeah, he had those 15 rush attempts against the Bears. I think that's also maybe because Pacheco was banged up a little bit, because he has not even come close to those attempts in any other game. In every other game this year, I don't think he's gone even over 4 carries. That was like his one outlier of a matchup. So because of that, I'm really not banking on him to get a lot of touches today, and I think that a lot of the touches are going to go to Pacheco. Now, when you look at this Denver Broncos defense as well, they're 30th out of 32 teams in opponent rushing attempts per game. That means that teams are rushing it over 31 times against them. It's one of those things where teams are winning the game on them. They're exploiting that run defense, and they're being able to run the ball. Over the last 3 games, they're actually number 1 in the league in terms of opponent rushing attempts per game, averaging over 35. So it's actually gotten worse as the season progressed. Like I mentioned before, we have a really large spread in this one, and then the weather is also a factor, right? We was looking at wind gusts from anywhere between 15 to 25 miles per hour. They said that it should be getting to by game time. And when you have winds that are blowing that hard, it can really affect the way that the ball game is played, because you can't throw the ball the same way you would. You can't kick field goals in some similar situations. So you might see situations where you're around the 40 and 50 yard line, and instead of taking a long field goal because of the direction of the wind or because of how hard it's blowing, you might just actually hand it off to try to get that extra 2 or 3 yards on third down, which sets you up for an easy fourth down play, right? And I really think that that's going to play a factor in today's matchup, and I think Pacheco is going to be able to get these carries, not only because of how weak this Denver Broncos defense is, but also because of the weather that we're seeing in the factor today. Right now it's at plus money. You can't beat that. I would take, at a lower amount, 15, 14 carries inside of parlay. I really like that as well, but I think he gets over the 16.5 carries like he did in that Jets matchup. So give me Isaiah Pacheco over 16.5 carries as my first best bet of the day. Now for my second best bet of the day, I'm going to head over to that Phillies matchup, and I'm going to take them on the run line here. Plus 1.5, minus 125 odds on BetMGM. I think the Phillies actually win this game outright. I'm going to sprinkle some on the money line, that plus money value. I really like that. But, for me, I'm one of those guys where I'm not afraid to pay for insurance. So because of that, I really am going to take just the plus 1.5 at minus 125. You can't beat that. I know Ranger Schwartz is on the mound for the Phillies. That does scare me a little bit, but I don't think he's going to go really deep in this matchup. I think he's going to go through this lineup maybe one time, and then after that, they're going to put in this bullpen, which has been absolutely on fire. Now listen, come baseball time, come playoff time, home field advantage matters, and Citizens Bank Park, where the Phillies play, is one of the hardest places to play at any time of the year, let alone in October. You saw that game yesterday. You saw that atmosphere when Bryce Harper hit those home runs, when Castellanos hit those home runs. Like, it was absolutely rocking. I love to see the fact that this team rebounded yesterday in the way they did after they dropped game 2 in the way that they did. And when you really look at the whole scope of this entire series, the Phillies have played better than the Braves in arguably 25 of the 27 innings that have been played in the series. The only mistakes they made were the 2-2 run home runs that they gave up in game 2, or otherwise we'll look at series is already over. I don't think the Phillies want to go back to Atlanta in a must-win game 5. I think they understand the intensity and the necessity this game requires if they need to win this matchup, and I really think they close this one out today. Like I said, Ranger Suarez, you might want to take a look at his outs, maybe take the under 13.5, 12.5, because I think that's where his line's at. I would be so shocked if he makes it into the 4th inning unless he's just pitching like no-hit baseball, which I don't really see happening. The Braves were the #1 team against left-handed pitchers this past season, so because of that, it scares me a little bit, and that's why I'm taking this plus 1.5 run line, because Spencer Strider, he is no joke. I mean, the dude's been really great for the Braves. He's their ace pitcher. He's faced the Phillies 5 times this year, but for me, that's what really got me concerned, because, I mean, now you're facing them for a 6th time against a red-hot offense like the Phillies at home. Something's gonna give. I mean, come on, they've got all the film on you. They know all your pitches by now. I mean, yeah, he's gonna get his strikeouts. Yeah, he's gonna do his thing. But do I see this as a matchup where he's gonna be able to go 7 innings like he's had in all the other games? I don't know. Maybe not. Right now, looking at how much the bullpen was used last night by the Braves, he might have to. But again, I think this is a matchup where the Phillies are gonna be able to score some runs on him. And even if they are able to get 1 or 2 runs, I really trust this Phillies pitching staff right now. They're actually the #1 team in the postseason in terms of team ERA, 1.64 ERA they have so far this postseason, and they're second only behind the Astros in hits per 9 innings this postseason. So they've been absolutely on fire. I trust their starters. I trust their bullpen. If Ranger Suarez can get through the top of this lineup, then I'm sure that we should be able to see the Phillies be able to keep this thing close and be able to even just win this game outright, or if they don't, then maybe lose it by just 1 run, or maybe just lose it by 1 run here like they did in game 2. So I really like the Phillies on the run line. I do like them on the money line as well. I don't think this is a matchup where Strider is going to be able to go too deep in this game like he's been able to, and even if he does, he's always 1 mistake pitch away. We saw that in game 1 where he had that 1 mistake pitch. Guess what that led to? A home run, and guess what happened? Phillies win that game 3-0. That's all we need to see. Just 1 mistake pitch. Phillies bullpen, keep this game close, and I think that we should be able to do that today. So give me the Phillies on the run line, plus 1.5. You can sprinkle some on the money line as well at plus money value, as I think they close this one out at home today. But I really like this home crowd. I really love the momentum that they have. You hit a franchise record in home runs yesterday. Now you come back today with that type of intensity and confidence. I really like this Phillies team today. So give me the Phillies on the run line as the second best bet. And that's really it for me today, my friends. So it's just 2 best bets. If you want a 3rd best bet, then take the under in that Chiefs game. The line has already moved way too much. It opened at 50. Now it's down to 47. That's the only thing that's keeping me off of it. But I think this one can go under even more. Just due to the weather. And then also, I think the Broncos understand that they cannot get into a shootout with this Chiefs team. That's a very strong lean I'll give you. Go with the under in that matchup. Weather's going to play a factor. Broncos defense is going to play for it. And it's just a divisional matchup. I know everyone thinks that the Chiefs are just going to blow them out. Yeah, we saw that. But even look at some of the other Chiefs games so far this year. They've scored points, but some of those games have gone under. Why? Because the Chiefs are winning by so much and the other team isn't scoring. Or we just have a divisional matchup that ends up becoming close. This could easily be like a 21-10 type game. They also have the Chiefs team total at 30.5. I would also take a look at maybe taking that under. That's a little bit more of a risky bet there, but I do think that this one is going to stay closer. It's a divisional matchup. I always like taking the under, not only in primetime games, but in divisional matchups, and then also weather's playing a factor. But that's just kind of a lean I wanted to give you there. But I got 2 official plays on the books today, and then any other picks and plays that you want to take, click the link in the bio, join the free Telegram group. I did hit on a hockey parlay yesterday. I mean, don't get me wrong. I chose the 2 biggest favorites on the board and parlayed them together. But hey, that's a good way to get hockey started. So I'm learning hockey a little bit, so I might have a play for you guys in the Telegram group on the hockey. So make sure you guys are tapped into that. And as always, I can't wait to see the picks and plays that you're taking, the money that you're making, and I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow, where we'll be back for another full slate of games. All right, guys, have a great night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Later.